In the town of Carswell, no one celebrated the 14th of October. It wasn't a holiday. It wasn't a tragedy, at least not officially. The date simply did not exist in public memory. Calendars skipped from the 13th to the 15th. School records had no attendance sheets for that day. Local newspapers went silent, as if time itself had blinked. Outsiders noticed it first. A journalist from the capital arrived in Carswell while researching administrative anomalies. She found the missing date strange, but assumed it was a clerical error repeated out of habit. When she asked the town clerk, the man froze. Not in confusion, but in fear. He politely refused to answer and suggested she leave before sunset. She didn't. That night, the town remained awake. Lights stayed on. Windows were covered. No one went outside after 9 p.m. Dogs were locked indoors, and even the church bell remained silent. At exactly 11:47 p.m., every clock in Carswell stopped. Surveillance footage later showed the same thing across the entire town. People standing mid-step, frozen like photographs. Cars halted in the street. A man pouring tea held the kettle in the air as steam burned his hand without reaction. Then something changed. The footage showed movement, not of people, but of space itself. Shadows stretched in direction that made no sense. Walls bent slightly like breathing. And at the edge of every frame, something passed by slowly, carefully, as if inspecting what had been prepared. At 12 a.m., all recordings ended. Electricity returned at 6:13 a.m. The town resumed as if nothing had happened, except for the missing people. 37 residents never returned. Their homes remained furnished. Their cars stayed parked. Their names were removed from all documents within a week. The journalist was among them. No bodies were found, no graves, no investigations. The only evidence was discovered years later during a routine renovation of the old town hall. Behind a sealed wall, workers found a room that did not appear on any blueprint. Inside were chairs, arranged neatly, facing inward. Each chair had a name carved into the wood, 37 names. Above them, carved deep into the concrete ceiling, was a sentence. "This day is not for remembering." To this day, Carswell still skips October 14th. And every year, the town remains awake the night before. I answered an online job ad that simply said, "Night work, listening required, no experience necessary." The office was a converted apartment. No windows, just a desk, a recorder, and a chair that creaked when I sat down. The manager didn't explain much. "People come here to confess things they can't tell anyone else," he said. "You just listen. Don't speak. Don't interrupt." The first few nights were exactly that. A woman admitting she abandoned her child. A man crying about a hit and run he never reported. I recorded everything, labeled the files, went home. On the fourth night, there was a new folder on the desktop. Confession, undated. I pressed play. The voice was calm, male, familiar in a way I couldn't place. "I don't know when this will be heard," the man said. "But if you're listening now, you already feel it. That pressure in your chest." I paused the recording. My chest did feel tight. I laughed it off and kept listening. "I've been watching him for months, learning his routines, where he sits, how he listens instead of speaking." My hands were sweating. "He thinks he's invisible because he never talks, because he never leaves a mark." I stood up, heart racing. The chair creaked. On the recording, the man stopped speaking. Then he whispered, "There it is. That sound. I shut the computer down and left early. The next night, the manager wasn't there. The apartment was empty. But the computer was on. A new file waited. Confession. In progress. I didn't press play. The recorder on the desk blinked red. Recording. I worked the night shift at a small emergency call center. Nothing dramatic usually happens. Mostly drunk arguments, car alarms, false reports. That's why the call at 2:17 a.m. didn't scare me at first. The line opened with heavy breathing. No words. Just slow, deliberate breaths. Like someone trying to calm down. I followed protocol. Emergency services? What is your location? Silence. Then a voice whispered, barely audible. Please don't send anyone. That was already wrong. People begging for help don't say that. I asked again for the location. The voice answered this time, clearer. You're sitting alone. Second monitor flickering. Coffee on your right. You haven't taken a sip in 10 minutes. My stomach dropped. Everything was accurate. I tried to disconnect the call. The system froze. The caller continued calmly, almost kindly. I just wanted to hear how you sound when you realize you can't hang up. I signaled to my supervisor, but he was slumped at his desk, head tilted unnaturally, eyes open and empty. The voice sighed. They don't hear it anymore, but you do. The screen finally unlocked. I hit disconnect. The call log showed no incoming calls. At 2:18 a.m., my phone vibrated, a voicemail notification from my own number.